some people believe that Jesus is black.
He's an Asian.
Hello, what's up, everybody? Welcome to our third episode. Man, we really appreciate y'all for tuning in to our last episodes. It's been a blast. Past guests Tian, Jalen, Parker, and Lawrence Harris, guys. Thank you so much. Keep going. We appreciate the comments because when you guys type in there, you give us the feedback, and we're really happy to hear from you guys and the topic. But today, guys, today's listen up is a special day. We're having. I'm gonna let him introduce himself. Go ahead.
Yeah, sure. What's up, guys? It's my honor to be here, my friends. My name is Mark Nguyen, or I go by Mark.
Yeah.
Right now I'm a junior, majoring in pre-med with biology and chemistry.
Right.
I'm from Vietnam, and actually I identify me as a Buddhist Christian.
But Buddhist. Just before you continue, it seems. Could you explain? Explain.
Sure. Yeah. So I know in the West, the notion of Buddhism is not very well known.
Right.
So for me, I grew up in a Buddhist background,
Right.
but I never feel confident to identify me as a Buddhist in Vietnam.
Right.
But when I start to go study abroad here in the U.S., I started to thinking lots of questions about life, in philosophy, big questions with no answers. And then I started to self-study about ancient Buddhism.
Right.
And yeah, I just feel I was blessed to learn to do meditation and the idea of a compassionate heart. So yeah, and I started to call myself a Buddhist, or practicing Buddhist. And also this, my college, Greenview University, is a Christian university. So I had the chance to talk with a lot of my professors about Christian ideologies, and I feel tuned into it. So now it's not like I'm not converted into Buddhist or Christian or anything. I'm just expanding my view
In different ways to see it.
Yes.
And guys, that's, I don't know if you catched all that, but that's a lot to take in already, because some people even, people don't even know. I myself don't even know much about Buddhism, and some people, put demonic names on it and that kind of stuff. But we're gonna jump into that. Today, co-host, I'm gonna let you go ahead and take over.
Thank you for this opportunity, Malik. Welcome so much, Mark. So this is the third episode, and our main topic, if you're following on that conversation, our main topic leads to it being about philosophy.
Right.
So philosophy to me, Mark, it's kind of like a broad topic, and it's a broad sense, an activity people undertake when they seek truths about the world and they want to find out more about reality in this world. What would you say is philosophy to you?
Philosophy to me is just the learning about life, and I'm actually more into applied philosophy, like how you see the world is helpful for you for your own development in this modern world, to find meaning in it, and just to appreciate life better.
Yes, that is a very good answer. So you're from Vietnam, that is in Asia, right? Tell us
Southeast
a few
Asia.
words. Tell us a few words about Vietnam.
Okay, sure. So Vietnam is a beautiful country in Southeast Asia. We have a Ha Long Bay, which is one of the 7 wonders of the world, natural wonders of the world.
What is that about?
It's a bay. It's a natural bay. It's beautiful sceneries, and it's just famous for tourism all around. And it's a developing country, very peaceful. And Vietnam is just beautiful culture, traditions. And in America, I know that the culture know about Vietnam War, but and it's like on movie, on media, it's depicted as Vietnam as a like a a third world country with not a lot of developments. But right now, Vietnam is becoming very critical in the whole world, the like international relationships. Like Vietnam, our strategy for communication has always been friendly. So we be friend with both China, US, and Russia. We are the only country in the world we're fairly good. Every strong other strong countries, and because it's we are a border with China. And some may argue that we in communism too, but it's like it's similar to China, but it's also very open to Western ideas or modernizations. So it's very interesting to me growing up to see how Vietnam developed, but still keep the traditional values. And going here to the US, I value more of those tradition, like family orientation.
So you guys used to sit together for dinner and that kind
yes,
of.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm here as a Vietnamese. In this episode, I would just only speak from an experience of a Vietnamese. I don't think that all Asia, because it's very interesting to coin the term Asian here, because Indian and Chinese are very different. But here they call all of us Asian, and Jewish is also Asian, and Asia is just, if you look at the map, it's so big, it's huge, right? So it's important that to me for me to stress that I'm a Vietnamese. I'm not representing every Asians.
Because there's Koreans, there's Indians.
Right. We have some similarities in culture, yes, but there's a lot of differences as well.
Right.
I love that. So let's dive in to the first point, knowledge and science. Human beings often are different and have different perceptions of reality. Maybe it's because of tradition, or it's because of religion, or it's because of experience or human history. So do you think people around this world are better off exploring or better off just studying by themselves?
I think we need both. We need critical thinking by ourselves, but we also need communicate. We need sermon, sharing our points of view with others and learning from others. But at the same time, we should not be influenced too much by others. So the power of critical thinking is the key. For my own experience is that I always keep a curious mind about the world, right? Asking questions, even unanswerable questions, still asking them, and asking other people those questions as well. So that was the whole point of philosophy, right? But I think the first step is to think about it by myself, having somewhat of the answer. Maybe I'm not totally confident with my answer, but having somewhat of reasoning in myself first, and then I communicate with others, sharing my points of view, and then be open to receive other points of view to me. So back and forth. So yeah, I think I definitely need both.
I like that. Just going off topic a little bit, you've been mentioning a lot about views, and I want to know, do you have an experience when you were a child or at one point of time did you notice that you were different from other kids and started to realize that your thinking and views is the, or why something triggered, or what happened?
So I think growing up, I always be a person like to observe. I like to be an observer, right? And I'm also interested in psychology, looking at how people behave, trying to asking why. And sometimes I come up with a theology of myself, like how people behave in a certain way, and then I try to read about psychology, and it turns out that there's many of these terms in relationship existing already, like other people observing it as well and coining the terms. So I would not say I'm too different from other kids, but I just have the chance. I only have the chance and I also have the experience. My family, my parents really encouraged me to share my points of view even when I was a kid. So I think I'm blessed with that. So yeah, I'm just having the environment to be comfortable to share my points of view
and ready to receive other people's.
Yes, that's I think ready to receive other points of view are also very important.
Yeah. What can you say to people who are watching this video? And some people are usually really loaded on not receiving other people's, because people who have been raised in towns where they have been exposed to different cultures and when they see different cultures and everything, they usually repel. And what can you say to improve and let them know to open? Because somebody may be born a Muslim, right? And he doesn't want to talk to anything other than Muslim. So what can you say about that?
Well, right now I'm actually interfaith conversations. I'm a big fan of it. It's been beneficial for me, for my own personal spiritual growth. So it's a skill. It's definitely a skill. You need to be trained, and of course open-minded is important. But then you need a certain skill to go into an interfaith conversations for multicultural, multi-religious conversations, kind of.
Right.
And so I think my only suggestion, advice that I could give is just this: if you believe in God, for example, just think that you are not God. Definitely, God is perfect. Is 100%. How I see myself, I would never be 100%, right? However, it is not the reason for me to stop trying. So if today I'm 60%, next day I've got to be 61%. So closer to perfection, right? And no matter how hard I try, I could never be 100%. But I still have to try to be closer to God.
So do you believe God is an entity, or God is like your best version of yourself?
God. Oh, that's an interesting question.
Now we're getting into the stuff, right?
God to me is a perfection. It's, as I said, 100%.
Supernatural.
Right? Well,
is it part of you? Is God part of you and nature, or is like a human being living somewhere there, or a person, or like it's like an entity that lives within you or something?
To me, God is part of me.
Right.
God is part of you as well.
Right.
God is part of every person. And
but you said you can never reach 100%.
Yeah, God is part of me. I'm part of God, but I'm also having imperfection. That's what defines human, kind of. But that is not the reason I stopped trying. That has to be the reason that I try. I have to be trying more to become closer to God, to become closer to, say, like Jesus or Buddha, like. And like, even if to the point that I could be 99% perfect, next day I still want to try to be 99.9 and then 99.99, So I think my limit, I could never be perfect this whole life. Only God could be perfect. So yeah, God is perfection to me. But that is a goal. I want to be closer every day, every moment, to develop myself.
Yeah, just before he picks up real quick, you've mentioned not be perfect in this life. So do you believe in previous lives? Like,
to me personally, it's irrelevant.
Right.
It doesn't matter I have previous life or not. My focus is on the present moment, on this life.
Okay, we're gonna get into a lot of
that.
That's very interesting.
Yes.
Keep going.
Yeah, that was a very deep conversation. I almost got lost.
Yeah. I love having these conversations.
So tell us about some of the foods that you have in Vietnam, or some of the foods you find interesting in this world, and we will connect that with the topic of travel.
Sure. Yeah, I forgot to mention when I introduced Vietnam. It's actually, Vietnam has amazing food, guys.
Really?
Amazing food, yeah. And amazing healthy food, actually. So statistically, US, one of the top obese country in the world. Vietnam is the top
healthiest.
Is like the least obese country in the world. and like it's not about nutritious knowledge. It's not about education. It's about, I think part of it is about Vietnam is blessed to have the perfect condition for growing vegetables, herbs, fruits. But other part is that the Vietnamese people know how to cook healthy food, know how to incorporate veggie in the food. So growing up, a meal to me, to my family, it needs to have three things: rice, proteins, and veggie.
Okay.
If it lacks any of these portion, it's not a meal.
It's not meal.
Yep. And then if you go to restaurant, veggies is always free. Like herbs. I'm sorry, not veggie. Herbs. Herbs is always free. Fresh herbs always free. If you have it, if you use all of them, you can ask for more. Herbs always free because it's very cheap. It's easy to grow. And the demand is high. So, yeah, it's just cheap. Cheap. Well, food in general in Vietnam is cheap too, but like especially herbs and veggies is super cheap. So coming here to study abroad, two things I miss the most is about the variety of veggie in Vietnam and seafood.
Oh, okay.
Seafood.
Yeah, because
I bet there's a lot of seafood.
yes, fresh seafood. Fresh seafood. I'm from the biggest seaport of Vietnam, so we always have fresh seafood with an affordable price.
You gotta come there.
Yeah, bro. if you come out, you know my cooking skill, because Japan, they are well known for their healthy lifestyle and longevity, and one of the key factors for them is also having seafood, a lot of seafood and veggies, of course. Yeah.
So you guys are living 5-star lives out there, still eating healthy. Is that the reason why Americans are mostly overweight, because they don't get a lot of veggies?
Yes, a lot of they don't have the options. Yeah, this is what I realized when I go to Walmart or other grocery. Healthy food is just expensive, man.
Right.
Yeah.
I
I don't know why, but they made it not affordable for everyone, and the options are limited for people to choose healthy food. So it's way easier to get a McDonald's, KFC, and it's cheaper, fast food. So people may know that it's unhealthy, but they don't think about it. They forgot about it. They know, but they forgot, right? It's when it's convenient. When it's convenient, and they're hungry.
Don't you like no fried chicken? Good old fried chicken.
KFC.
Once in a while, maybe,
Come
but
on
not
now.
every day.
I gotta get you a bucket.
It's to be honest, when I smell the oily.
Secret recipe they use.
No, I mean, like I go by nearby some fried chicken places like KFC. When I smell that oil, I would like feel nauseous, kind of, because it's just too oily to me. So in Vietnamese cuisine we do have some fried stuff, because fried food is very good. It's very good. But also it's not. We also have a lot of options of fresh veggies food. Like spring roll, huge portion of it is veggie, and so I think I gotta lead you guys to a pho restaurant near here, which is very good. So pho, PHO, it means Vietnamese beef noodles.
Do you hear that, chat? Tell them again, they can write it down.
Yeah, it's pho, guys. You gotta try it out. PHO. It's a Vietnamese beef noodle. It's amazing. It's a amazing broth noodle. And serving with that, it's always there's gotta be herbs, and and also beef here in the US is very good. It's very interesting that pho in US is better than pho in Vietnam, because the beef quality here is super good compared with in Vietnam. So, but also it's more expensive. So
I had my suspects you are really big on food and nutrition. And so what is your take on American pork? Because I know it's banned in a couple of countries.
American pork.
Yeah. Or maybe you haven't gotten into a lot of that. American pork, like.
So Pork is, if like, so we were talking about like regulation, like every varieties of food. To me personally, I'm a pre-med, so yes, I pay a lot of attention to what I eat every day, because one of the goals I have for my life is to live to 100 years old.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's interesting. You want to live to 100 years?
100 years old. I want to pass that milestone, man. So since very young, I have to pay really close attention to food and also exercise, right?
But you're in America.
Yeah, so look at me. I'm still healthy, man. It's challenge. It's more challenge to be healthy here than in Vietnam. It is.
It's harder here.
Right. You gotta be conscious. You have to make critical thinking choices every time, right? But yeah, to talk about food, like meat in general, I think it's important what we know about regulation, varieties. So like if you eat pork every day, of course it's bad. Chicken every day, maybe better than pork every day, but still not good. Because as a humans, we need a lot of not just proteins, carbs, but also minerals, vitamins, and many other stuff. So those can only be incorporated into our diets through varieties. So if you eat the same meal, even it's the same 3 meals every week, every day, that is not good. You gotta switch it up. You gotta change every. Yes. So, to me, when I had the chance to cook myself, like say for the summer, I would rotate chicken, pork, beef, seafood, tofu. So that's source of proteins. I would rotate them. I would not have one type of meat 2 days in a row. And eggs, actually, I forgot. Eggs is awesome. Eggs is the best source of protein out there.
Okay.
This for all of you. So it's cheap, it's affordable, and you gotta get the organic eggs, guys. Don't get the regular eggs.
How does the organic? I know it's not the blue one.
It's more expensive, yes. But it's worth it. It's not too much expensive if you think about it.
Yeah, just $1 more.
Yeah, kind of.
Americans don't want that.
I mean, regular eggs is already is good source of protein, but organic eggs it's even better because it have more portion of omega-3, which is healthy fat. So
man,
egg is a super it's underrated for sure. It's underrated.
Eggs.
Yes.
Wow.
As a source of protein, it is underrated. People here may love beef. Yes, it tastes good, but actually beef, it does provide energy and source of iron and stuff like that too. But ecology, beef is quite costly in terms, because it needs a lot of clean water, crops to grow the cow, right? Compared with chicken, it takes less. So when we talk about ecology, about human footprint, it is better choice to have eggs and chicken rather than pork and beef. Because beef, if you don't know, beef is cows producing methane, CH4 gas, which causes global warming.
So no steak.
You could have it once in a while, but don't be too passionate about it. Some once in a while is okay, but not every day, man. Not every day,
Man, with food you can keep going on and on and on. But something that people really want to know is about the vegan. Vegan is a big deal in America. And
that's true.
What is your take on vegan people and stuff?
So as a Buddhist, Buddhist monk, they are required to be vegetarians, right? And actually last summer I had a chance to spend a week living with the monks in a Buddhist temple in the US. And it's a very open eye experience for them. So vegetarian and vegan, yes, it's different, but so for the monks they still can have milk and have eggs, but they raise their own chicken and hen to produce the eggs And it's very interesting to me to see that in their farm they have both chicken and hens. And I ask them, and rooster, chicken and rooster. I ask them why do they have rooster? Because chicken produce eggs, that's good enough. And they don't eat chicken meat, they don't. And they said it's because sometimes the eggs hatches and turns out they are rooster, and they don't kill the rooster. They leave them, they let them live with the farm.
And until they die?
Until they die, yeah.
Bro.
So they feed them well, living with in the farm. So for Buddhist perspective, there's notion of karma. So killing animals that creates bad karma, kind of, and consuming meat. It's we are not like directly killing the animals, but like we are in the chain, right? However, to me personally, there's that scientific part here. Like, if we are completely vegans, if we only eat and consume vegetable vegan products, sometimes we need supplements. We would need supplement because there's some nutrition we would not be able to absorb well. And also, meat is more calories condensed, so we don't need to eat a lot of them to get fuel. But then, when I was there in the temple, I was kind of vegan the whole time.
Wait
And then, oh yeah.
Mentioning the temple, it makes me curious. Was that your most spiritual experience, or do you have something?
Yeah, I do.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. Yes.
Yeah.
So come back to the temple. I being there only the first 3 days of eating vegan food for 3 days. I could feel my skin better. I could feel the skin is so smooth, like it's healthy skin. I never
glowing.
Kind of, yeah. And it's amazing. And yes, like I had the food, and then 2 hours later I already hungry, so I had to have 3 meals a day. Full. I get full every day, every meal. But then I don't gain any weight, and my skin, it just feel amazing. Like
your energy was high, everything.
So I do lots of meditation when I was there. I didn't do a lot of physical stuff, so I couldn't tell about energy level. But for skin health, like that's the best skin I ever have. And I didn't even use any skincare products, so it's a very eye-opening. It just so vegan food, if you could do it, it's super healthy for a lot of your body.
Right.
But you would need to get supplements on it, and to me, right now I'm not vegan. I'm not a vegetarian, but I do increase a lot of fruit and vegetable in my portions, and beans especially. Yeah, beans are amazing, guys. Beans are healthy. Beans are even better than eggs when it comes to protein source.
Really?
Yeah. But it's not as energy condensed as eggs. So eggs is still better when it comes to energy condensed. But yeah, beans are super healthy. Because it's just not meat. It doesn't have any bad fat in it.
It's just pure protein.
Kind of. And proteins and cellulose.
Ooh.
Yeah. That's why.
Wow. Hey, this kind of takes, I don't know if you're ready for this question. This is a very, you say, deep question. I want to know, what is your most spiritual experience? And also, you've been meditating a lot. So how has that been one of your meditation times that you've been meditating? What has been the most like supernatural thing you've ever seen? And also cutting it into people who use spiritual drugs or something.
Spiritual drugs?
Is there something like that? Like these, what do you call it?
Like hallucination drugs?
Yeah, hallucinogens.
Oh, okay, I see.
And people who come back out of it and be like, oh, it helped me to go into like a spiritual thing, and I saw these crazy things. What has been your most and what can you say about that drug?
The Avatar movie.
Yeah. So that's an interesting question. So just to begin with, meditation is media associated with Buddhism a lot, but meditation is a practice even before Buddhism. It's just like a mental practice from a long history ago. And in Christianity, there are tradition of meditation as well. And also, there's different type of meditations. What we usually see on media of a person sitting down, closing eye, focusing on the breath is called mindfulness meditation, or breathing meditations, right? But there's many other types. And actually, right now, I'm an RA for my college, and I'm doing a morning meditation session every morning in my dorm. So you guys are welcome if you're free.
What time?
7 a.m. I know it's a challenge, man. It's an early challenge.
For an hour?
For for 10 minutes. So right now my routine every morning is to meditate for 10 minutes. And I also do meditation before going to sleep. And the most spiritual experience I had is one when I meditate. But I have to before I share this, I have to tell you that the goal of meditation is not to gain any superpower. It's not to experience any crazy
levitation and everything.
Yeah, no, it's not the goal. It's not the goal of meditation at all. The goal is just to see it as a mental practice, a mental training. Because if you ever try to do it, it's hard, man. It's hard to focus on your breath for even 1 minute, because the mind, if it's not trained, it's like a monkey. It's climbing from this tree to that tree, from this thought to this thought.
I love that. That's
beautiful. And it's never stable. So the goal for meditation is to calm your mind.
The mind is like a monkey.
Yes. For the monkey to sit down.
Wow.
Stop climbing. And when you were able to do that, you start to observe life better. So what is spiritual? Spiritual to me is just to be in the moment, to observe. And when you start observing life, you just see things differently. And that is when maybe some magical experience comes to you.
There you go.
Yeah, maybe. But that's not the goal, right? It's not the goal of meditation. So for me, it was I think maybe 1 or 2 weeks. I come back to my dorm from the temple, and I was sitting down in my dorm, meditate in the morning, and I felt it was like the breathing meditation, sitting down, and I felt a kind of energy running to my hands.
Were you closed your eyes?
I was closing my eyes. And both is running to my hands, and my hands start sweating, even though I'm sitting right under the AC in hot week. And the AC during the summer, it's going crazy. It's very cold in the dorm. My whole body is still cold, but my hand was sweating.
What?
Yeah, and that I just feel that kind of energy. I felt that kind of energies, and it was there.
Could you tell? You said it was hot energy.
It was not hot for my whole body. It was only I felt that I didn't feel hot at all. I feel that energy in my hand, and my hand started sweating. So it's not like a heat energy, It's some other kind of energy, and my hand just starts sweating. So that just very eye-opening to me. So, but here's an important thing. I could only observe it. If I want to obtain it, I want to experience it again, it will went away. It will go away. I'm only be an observer of that experience. If I want to get it, there's no way I could get it. So that's a mistake I made the next day. I wanted to replicate the same experience, trying to harvest that energy. I couldn't, because I have a kind of that agenda. I had that goal, that is wrong. That is not the correct goal of meditation. So I couldn't get it. So yeah, for meditation, you gotta have an observer mindset and a beginner's mindset. Yeah.
That is deep. Yeah. Heading on to the next one, that one kind of connects and with the mindset, finance, and beauty of the world. Do you think a person can experience the beauty, the full beauty of this world if the finance level is low? Do you think there's a difference in a person? Like you said before, there's cheap meat for cheap people. There's expensive meat for expensive people. When you travel around the world, does finance really has a big effect in that?
Yep. So I think from my experience, I did have a time to have like a financial issues, financial struggle, and I do feel during that time my body was just anxious. There's something in me. I was able to feel it. I was able to feel that unease, and even during that time I still have a belief that it's gonna be over, that God's gonna help me out, everything will be alright. But still, there's sense of unease in me, and it was tough. It was tough for my everyday life. I was not the same. I could not study as well as I wanted. You know, especially for pre-med, it's very challenging. But every time, whenever I sit down for meditate, I was still able to do it. I try to observe my breath, and then that unease just went away.
Do you call that manifesting? Do you manifest?
What do you mean manifest? Okay.
Is that like I tell myself tomorrow I'm gonna be able to achieve these goals A, B, and C, and then I believe it in my consciousness, like you're saying with meditating, and then manifest.
So I don't. So that's two different things. For me, at least, I just have a confidence that it will go over, no matter what. It will go over.
Right.
But then I don't meditate on that. I only meditate on my breath. I don't meditate that this will get better.
Do you not do thought meditation? Do you never do like focus meditation, like you're focusing on just one point?
Yes.
You do those too?
Yeah, there's that type of meditation, but I don't do it that often. Yeah. But yeah, to come back with that questions.
The manifesting.
Yeah, I don't see it that way. It's just a sense of kind of but not very belief, but it's just like I'm confident. I know that it will better. But at the moment, my body, up here, my mind completely okay, because I believe, I know it's gonna be getting better. But down here, my body, something in here is unease. So it's very interesting experience that I got the chance to have. But whenever I sit down to really do meditation in the morning, that feeling went away. When I finish, that feeling may come back. But then, because I observe it, that feeling, so it doesn't really interfere much with my everyday function. I will still being a good friend and a good RA. So, but I see that difference. Compare like that unease, compare with I don't have to worry about finance. So when talking about finance and spiritual, I think it's worth mentioning about the Maslow hierarchy of need. Yeah, have you ever heard of that? Maslow? Yeah, so like the base, there's a hierarchy of needs. The most basic one is safety and food. When you fulfill that, you could go up to higher level, and the on the top of that triangle is spirituality, is like self-actualization. I think that's what it goes, self-actualization.
Do you know the 5 from 5 to 1?
From top of my head, I think The lowest is
Safety and food, you say?
safety.
Shelters is in there?
Yes. Safety is shelter,
Okay.
and then food, and then
Something like clothing?
couldn't remember.
Yeah, don't worry about it. But you say number one is spirituality? So that's a
Top
big
on
deal.
top of spirituality, yes. So you need, and Maslow argue that you need to fulfill lower needs in order to gain higher needs, right?
Right.
So you only can get that self-actualization when you fulfill all the other one. So, and I see some truth in it.
What do you mean by self-actualization? And
That is
for
when
the
you
people
see
watching.
your full potential. Yeah,
Right.
that is when you see your full potential.
Physically, spiritually, mentally, or
Mhm.
everything.
How you could be, how good you could be, how amazing a person you could be. And you'll be confident in yourself and doing anything.
Right.
Yeah, so that is self-actualization. So yeah, when we are struggling financially, that's definitely affect our safety, and that would be on the priority first before you worry about spiritual. But it doesn't have to be, one at a time. You still could care about your spirit during when you're trying to make money, to get better in finance. So it also comes out to how you manage time, manage your energy, and I think community would play a big role in this. Community could help you with finance to some extent, and your community could help you with your spirit also. Yeah.
Wow.
With all of that, I believe the best way to enjoy life is minding your own business. As it aligns with philosophical and importance of focusing within our control, and you shouldn't be focusing on something like that. You should accept what you can control, and rather focus on what you can. Take time and know yourself and your purpose in this world.
Wow. I like that.
So, the last one, we obviously have to talk about tradition. Talk about tradition and history. Tell me a little bit about your view about tradition right now. I know there's a lot of things going on, like social media. There's a lot of things these days. I don't think tradition has an influence in this world. Yeah, the influence comes from music, celebrities. Do you believe there is still hope for tradition in this current world?
I think tradition is a root, is your root, my root. To have confidence in the self, and to really reach that self-actualization, you need a root, to knowing who you are, where you come from. And that is when you feel like you are supported. For me at least, I feel I was supported by my tradition, supported my family, not just my parents, but my ancestors. I'm supported by the amazing, rich Vietnamese culture to become a better person, to contribute to the world, and to open bigger than that. When I identify me as a Buddhist, I feel supported by the Buddhas, by the Sangha, which is a Buddhist community. When I identify me as a Christian, I feel supported by the Christian tradition, I feel supported by the church, by people in the church, and that gives me power. That gives me personally the urge to become a better version of myself. For me to become closer to perfection every day.
Is that what's life about? Becoming
Yeah,
a
right?
better version of yourself?
There you go. Yeah, exactly. For my life, at least, that is the mission of my life, to live to 100 years old, and during that time, become a better person every day. Yeah.
Once
So
you get 100, you can give me a call.
I'll see you then.
I'll be dead by then.
So I think to me, to have a healthy to have a healthy, rich life,
Right.
you need tradition.
Mhm.
You need tradition. Yeah.
To be rich in theology. Because, the mindset encourages individuals to cultivate inner peace and contentment by directing their energy towards personal growth, virtuous living, rather than becoming entangled in distraction
Mhm.
and conflicts with external affairs. Tradition is one thing that obviously can uphold factors that build up this kind of concept.
Right.
Mhm. But I also want to add one more
Mhm.
about tradition is we need to use critical thinking as well.
Critical thinking.
Yes. So to think about your tradition, like what is ritual is about.
Mhm.
Is it harmful in any way?
Mm.
If it is, and why is it? Like, and would you still follow that tradition if it's harmful?
Mhm.
So that is all important questions. So tradition, following tradition to feel empowered, but I have to keep a critical mind for actually better world, not a delusional better world.
Mhm.
There's sometimes contradiction between tradition and religion. Like, obviously, like you said, there's some things that are harmful, and back in Africa, where we're from,
Mhm.
females undergo through like initiation,
Okay.
circumcision,
Uh-huh.
or we believe that females aren't supposed to go to school,
Right.
aren't supposed to get a job. That's only for men. So
Mhm.
there's obviously a contradiction between tradition, religion, and sometimes even law.
Yep.
Yeah, because like that obviously adds to your point. I'm sure in Vietnam there's kind of factors like that. Even
Mhm.
though the world is being modern,
Mhm.
tradition usually has like a pullback.
Right.
It has it has its ups and downs.
Right.
But also moving forward, there's also ups and downs in this world.
Yeah.
So with the philosophical view is to number one is obviously accept this world the way it is and live in it.
Yeah.
And then when you see the world as like that, you gotta think of how could you
Mhm.
make it a better.
Yeah.
How could you do something to just to fix this harmful tradition?
Mhm.
Yeah. And yeah, people use tradition to get to discriminate.
Discriminate, yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that is just a bad way to use tradition. It's like to manipulate other people, the oppressed,
Right.
as you said, like
Mhm.
woman roles. And yeah, and when we see that tradition, bad tradition, in a way, then we just have the responsible to change that mindset ourselves, mindset of other people around us,
Mhm.
and then to the society.
Mm.
And that is an important role of critical thinking.
Right. As somebody who's getting a lot of influence from Buddhism, is Jesus coming back?
That's an irrelevant question. I would not answer it. Yes. Whether Jesus Christ come back or not, I'm still enjoying life. I'm still being a better person every day. So yeah.
In your culture, what is Jesus pictured to be like? Some people believe that Jesus is black. In your culture, what do people think he's a blonde?
What do you mean? Like, so
like in the movie, people say he's not a blonde. People say Jesus his hair is dark.
So if
his
you
skin is a little
if you look at the historical context,
Mhm.
Jesus is a Middle East man.
Mhm.
He's a
Yeah.
Israelite. He's a person from Israel. So he's an Asian.
Right.
Yeah.
So okay, yeah, of course. So that means he's not a blonde, Yeah.
So yeah.
He's not Marvel Jesus. Just.
So Jesus is even closer to you than he's closer to any of us.
Yeah, maybe.
I really like this world. I really like how people have different views. And people actually believe Jesus was.
But yeah, here's the thing. If you
Mhm.
believe, and then when you look at historical fact, that's two different stories. Because if you say you believe Jesus is white Jesus, right? It's just not true. The fact is, he's from Middle East Asia.
Right.
That is just a fact.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Because he was like.
and if you believe in something, even though you know that it's not a fact, and that's a problem. That's a
Mm.
problem.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Because in the movies, I noticed only Jesus was a blondie. The other ones were from the Middle East. What was the main character? Just a blonde.
It's funny. Man. This conversation was amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know
Very
if
educational.
yeah.
There's some things
Thank
I
you.
did not know.
Yeah. I'm happy to share.
And you guys watching this by now, I know it's already changing a little bit of the way you think about so many things. For us in this studio right now, it's a swarm of wind and everything just revolving. And guys, we appreciate the comments. Let us know down in the comments what you thought about this conversation. As a guest, let us know feedback to Mark Nguyen. And this guys was amazing.
So, yeah.
We will really actually have to have in another episode.
We will see how the schedule works out. But yeah, it's been my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
You're so welcome.
Yeah, you got any last words for the people?
Somebody there watching who hasn't traveled to Vietnam,
Oh.
who doesn't know anything, hasn't like his or her exploration like urge is pretty low. Tell them a few words.
Guys, to see the world in a different land, you gotta travel abroad once in your life, at least once.
Right.
Doesn't have to be Asia, Africa, Mexico. Just go to a different culture, as different than yours as possible. It will really open your eyes, but because it opened my eye when I come here to the US as an Asian. So it just make life more beautiful. So yeah, travel.
Wow.
As for me, I would obviously say traveling and exploration is a plus more to just like reading books, you know. If you're stuck in one location, there's no way you can actually see with your eyes. In Africa, we believe seeing is believing. And that is one fact that Americans, Europeans can learn from us. People believe in Africa it's just poverty, but actually if you come to Africa you will be very surprised, you know. So getting that stereotypic mindset out of your life is one good thing. So when you travel, you'll be able to know more about this world, and you'll actually be able to change other people's life rather than just yours. And me coming to America is a plus. Now I feel like obviously I'm forward because I've got the African mindset and the American mindset. So what I tell Americans, Europeans, anybody, the best way to enjoy life, travel and stay in your lane. That's the best way to enjoy life.
Now, this is going to finish up the podcast, and people, you can discuss this in the comment section between Asian. I'm not going to say Asian because we're done. By now, after watching this, you should be done saying that Vietnamese food, if you have tried some wherever you are, African food and American food, which one is the best? Rank from 1 to 3. I'm going to start with you, Mark. Obviously, I know you're going to go to Vietnamese.
So to me,
Yeah.
to me, Vietnamese, yes,
Yeah.
but it's a purely subjective view.
And number 2, health and healthiest at the same time. Number 2, go for African or
I haven't had a chance to have a lot of African food, but I would prefer that than American. I had some experience, but yes, American gotta be a number 3.
Nah.
Guys, you've already gotten the answer. What are you saying to American food, man? Come on.
But here's the thing, like to talk about food, it could be another episode, man.
Yeah.
It's just so broad.
Yeah.
But it just but how, like, it's hard to define American food because here we have food from around the world. And actually,
what is American food?
right? Yeah, if you ask that, or
There's no actually.
French
That's
fries?
what I
Oh, that's from France?
like here in Illinois, or or in the Midwest, I think barbecue ribs could be somewhat iconic here, and I had it. It's really good. Yeah, I like it. I like it. I really like. It's one of my favorite food too. But when I have to evaluate healthy and tastiness, and yeah, American is not very well.
Yeah. Me, before I even answer that question, I have to say, like, remember when we say that there's some American foods that are banned all over the world, like in Europe,
Mhm.
like pork. It has like high saturated fat, and it's like has a risk of like heart disease and obese. You know, so in the United States, whether you go to the gym, whether you go to the gym, you lift in whatever you lift in, it's always a setback when you eat this kind of foods here.
Right.
So number one, I'll say African foods for me is the healthiest. I'll say Vietnamese number two, and American number three.
Wow. I've personally gone to the Vietnamese restaurant in downtown St. Louis.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you know that one.
I
It's
do.
just
I know
right
some couples. Yeah.
Yeah, and I actually had you think it was something like pork ribs? I'm not sure. And
okay.
and we had the lettuce where you put the meat inside the lettuce and the vegetables.
Mhm.
But I mean, Vietnamese food is a special cuisine.
Mhm.
But home is at best.
Mhm.
And we're gonna end the podcast, guys. Thank you so much. Make sure you don't forget to subscribe, hit the subscription button, share the videos. There you go, and hit the notification bell so that you can be notified anytime we drop the content. We'll see you next time.